Welcome back to all our attendees. My job, as usual, will be to remind you to go and participate in the contest before I announce our next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Zeeshan Ali, Senior System Engineer Pre-Sales at Citrix. Speaking on today's topic will be modern workspaces. Over to you, Zeeshan.
Thank you very much, Malvin. Hello, team. First of all, thank you very much for taking your time out and joining this session. My name is Zeeshan Ali. I'm Senior System Engineer from Citrix, working with Citrix for now more than 7+ years and looking for Oman, Bahrain, UAE, and other regions as well. So plenty of experience in Citrix with many different verticals across customers, different verticals, and selling Citrix and enabling them about modern workspaces and how the new normal will be helping them to achieve delivering all their services to them. So let's look into what we have today in our session. Pretty packed up agenda with me today, so I'll be going with them quickly on all these points, and please feel free to send the questions in the questions tab, so we will be answering it in the end. And if we couldn't answer it due to lack of time or something, we will try to take it offline as well. So today's agenda is actually about the business challenges that organizations are facing today during this pandemic and after pandemic, and also how they are trying to achieve this new normal and how they are transforming their existing workspace, or how they are transforming their existing landscape into modern workspaces, which is delivering it more seamlessly to their end users, and they can easily access everything from one single portal, making sure everything is available to them. And what exactly is are the desired situation, or what exactly are the desired state for the organization, like oil and gas and power sectors? How exactly what is the desired situation for them? And we will also look into the gaps, what exactly is missing to achieve these modern workspaces. Plus, as a Citrix, what is our definition of modern workspace? So we will definitely cover that part. How we are evolving the end user experiences, how we are enabling them to access services from any device, anywhere, not restricting them to a particular desk, not restricting them to a particular device, enabling them to access it from anywhere. Then how we are enabling the organizations as a whole to achieve that zero trust technology, and making sure that the services they are providing to the users all secure and compliant as per the organization policies. And last but not the least, the key takeaways that we are getting out of this whole session. So let's start. Let's start with this business challenges that the organization are facing these days. With the pandemic, when the users were pushed back and asked them to move to access remotely all the services, the most important challenge was to actually empowering them and providing all the services to them. Organization like oil and gas and all, we have already number of users working from the fields. We have number of different locations where the users are dispersed. So as this vertical, we are already somehow delivering the services remotely. So this is more critical for us to make sure to deliver all the services which is required by an end user to be available on their device, whatever they are coming with. If they are on the field and they have an iPad or any other an Android device or something, or even rugged devices, so they are able to access all the services on those devices. Or if you are having any camera solution or something that you wanted to access to keep, so even though you can access it over them. So empowering the remote workforce, most importantly, delivering these applications and desktop, making sure that you are selling up-to-date services to the user. And plus the device flexibility, you should not be limited to or bound to certain devices only. So during pandemic, we also came across with one more term, like we initially, it was more a corporate devices, and only corporate devices were allowed to access it remotely. But as this thing hit, as the pandemic hit, where users were moved remotely, the remote devices were actually were not all corporate, so they were coming from their personal devices as well. So it can be a Mac, it can be a Windows, it can be any other devices. So device flexibility was not available, and this was one of the challenges that organizations were facing. They were not able to roll out the corporate devices to every single user who is who is accessing remotely actually. And last and most important is the security and compliance. So gone are the days when users are sitting within the office and it is all within the office perimeter and everything is restricted. Users are coming from outside the organization, they are coming from the personal devices. So security and compliance has to be checked, and it should be very critical for the organization to make sure that when the users are accessing remotely, everything is under the corporate as per the compliance by the organization. So to overcome these challenges, if we ask the organization, so what is the desired state which they want to go with to overcome these challenges, where exactly they want to reach, and what will be the desired state where they want to reach in order to increase the productivity, decrease the costing, so in terms of reducing the operating cost for delivering the services, and time to value and all. So what is exactly the desired state? So as a desired state, first of all, the organization, the main desired state that they raised was to be ready as a business continuity and disaster recovery ready to face any of the pandemic that comes their way in a near future. So in future, if any other pandemic hits and there is a disaster happening or something, so the organizations are ready beforehand, not like last year when this was they were asked to work remotely, and they just whatever was available to them, they just started utilizing it, and then ending up in finding the issues and ending up finding the security problems, and they were trying to mitigate all these issues in the end. So they want to be disaster ready, they want to have a business continuity ready, and most importantly, they should be able to deliver the services remotely. So if the users, if currently in Oman, let's suppose we are 50-60% on site and rest of the users are coming remotely, so organizations need to be ready to deliver the services securely to those users as well which are working remotely. Second, building a hybrid cloud strategy, not just depending on your existing data center. You can utilize the Oman data park and other services as well to expand the services as and when required. So the limitation of making sure of the data sovereignty and data residence, just you can extend the services or extend the resources to Oman data park as your external services hosting, or you can even extend to the clouds as well. So helping you to strategize your cloud strategy, hybrid cloud strategy, I would say, to be agile enough to accept all the changes that comes your way as an organization. Most importantly, as an end user, to have enough productivity and to have the talent retention, we have to provide better services to them. A simple and easy way to access all their applications, rather than giving them a lots of application and different ways to connect. It should be much centralized and simplified way to access all these services. So a single portal, unified portal where they can log in and they have access to all the services, be it normal legacy applications, be it a Windows application or Linux based application, everything is available within one single portal, and they can single sign on to all these applications regardless of their devices they are using. Merger and acquisition and onboarding new sites, onboarding new user, it should be much faster time to value. It should be easy for you to onboard new users, to onboard new sites. And if any merger and acquisition is happening across, that is much easier for us to take care of, keeping both the sites or both the organizations up and running while working in the background to do the mergers and all. So does not affect the end users, so they can continue doing their work. And on the back end, the organizations the IT teams can start merging the whole services together. And last but not least is reducing that operating cost, making it simple for the IT team to update, patch, and rolling out new services and onboarding new applications and services as well. So in order to reach this desired state, what exactly are the gaps that we have in today's scenario? First of all, we have so many applications available, and it can be legacy, it can be web-based, it can be SaaS. There are so many applications available, and there are so many ways to connect to these applications. So user has to, moving from one application to other, there is no unified portal available. So for web application, they are opening a browser, they are entering the credentials and then accessing it out. What if they have to connect any Windows-based application? It is installed on their particular device, laptop or mobile or something. And then if there's a SaaS application, there is altogether a different way to connect, and there will be different credentials as well. So there should be a unified access across the applications, across the data, across the desktops. So for the users, they don't have to carry different credentials with them, or we end up in having multiple credentials written on the user screen as a notepad file or Excel file. It should be unified access across. They log in with one single credential with an OTP, two-factor authentication, and they can see all the data, all the applications and desktop within that portal. So first of all, unified access, that is one of the missing point here. Second, security. Users, when they are coming accessing internally or when they are accessing from outside, there should be some contextual access across it. If they are coming from personal device or corporate device, there should be different security policies applied to it. So this is actually an access control which is missing. So just to avoid all this, organizations go away from do not provide access to a remote access to the user. They come up with corporate devices, and they are giving a VPN access to the user, and end up creating their devices as part of your networks, which is a security issue, and which can be even if any compromised user or any compromised device, it can create more issues for the organization. So security, having an access control, having a contextual access, and making sure the data sovereignty and data residence and GDPR, those things in place, and making sure that corporate data is not getting leaked, or corporate data or data leakage prevention is taken care. So this is one of the point as well, which is the gap in achieving our modern workspace. User experience is also one of the points that we have seen in the modern days. When the users are connecting via VPN and we're using this protocol, it is not optimized enough to make sure that in case of any packet drops and all, the session should be continued and all. So users are facing session disconnection, they are facing a lot of issues, and even if they are using any unified application like Teams or any other Cisco Jabber or any other applications, they are facing a lot of issues in connecting audio, video. So it should be centralized, single sign-on, and it can provide all the applications seamlessly to the users, regardless of their device, regardless of the network, and the solution should be capable enough to adjust based on the network changes. As I said, the organization, oil and gas companies and the power sectors and all, there are several mergers and acquisitions happening. There are new branches getting opened and all. So during those operational things are happening in the back end, the services should be up and running for the end user. They should be able to complete their work. There should be no stoppage. There should be no delays and all. And they should be able to continue their work. Whereas in the back end, the operational changes should be continued, and they should not affect the end user. And plus, being an organization ready for the business continuity, and be ready for any of the disaster or any of the pandemic that comes in the way. So be ready for it, and there shouldn't be any delay into it. So if we are able to achieve all these gaps that we just discussed here, we will be able to reach to a point where we can deliver a modern workspace to our end users. So how Citrix can help you here? As a Citrix, or as we say, what is the definition of Citrix as a modern workspace? We as a Citrix are providing you a unified workspace to your end users, which carries all kinds of application, be it SaaS, be it mobile, be it Windows, be it any virtual applications, Windows-based, Linux-based application, or even the Windows and Linux desktops, Windows 10 or Linux desktops to you, along with your data, all into one single unified portal that we call it as a workspace. So within that unified portal, you have everything in available to you. Using analytics, that Citrix analytics service, your organization as an organization, you are keeping an eye on terms of security, in terms of performance to the user, and making sure that everything is available to the user and the performance is up to the mark as per the organization. Plus, making sure the security and compliance is also in place. So when the user is connected using their unified credential, be it Active Directory or Azure AD or any other credential, Okta that you're using, once they're authenticated and connected, whatever the services they are using, it is being checked by the analytics that it is as per the organization compliance. So if anything goes beyond that, it will trigger the administrator, and it can take decision based on that. So this is actually the definition from Citrix, which is enabling the organization to deliver a unified workspace and making sure that it is taken care by analytics, and it is all secured, and it is all as per the compliance of the organization. So let's just quickly go through if what if the user is coming from a mobile, or he's coming from a tablet or a PC or a Mac devices or any other devices. So the experience across all the device for him is same. Regardless of the device, he is able to access all these applications and desktop into one single place. So as he logs in using his portal, using his credentials, he can see all these services, and he can click on it, and he will single sign on to these applications without entering one more credential, without bookmarking one more link. Everything is available within a single portal. So this increases the productivity for the user. He don't have to search for application. He don't have to search for the files. He don't have to search for any of the desktops. Everything is available with one single unified credential for him. So, so this is a user, a closer view to the end user experience. If you notice here, he just logged into Workspace, and on the top, he can see all the applications. It is a legacy application. There are normal Windows application. There can be a SaaS application. So imagine as an organization, you have several legacy applications running within your data center. And during your expansion, you are hosting some of the services in Oman Data Park, and they are hosted over there. So as a user, it is transparent to them from where the applications are coming from. For them, it is all available into one single portal. And in the backend, it is actually it is hosted in multiple locations, and it is all connected via a single sign-on to the user. And when we talk about analytics to wrap all these things up, to provide the security on top of it. So Citrix Analytics actually comes up with a security, performance, and productivity analytics for all these services. And it takes care of the users itself, their applications, and the networks they are coming from. And using artificial intelligence and machine learning, everything is getting learned, and everything is getting checked. And so when the user is connecting, for an example, Zeeshan normally connects from an IP of Oman, and his working time is 7 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So suddenly one day Zeeshan is coming from an IP which is not from Oman. It is outside the Oman, might be say from China or somewhere outside the country. And suddenly I've started using at 4 o'clock in the morning, which is not my normal time. So this can be one of the trigger, and analytics can actually take care of this trigger, and it can inform the administrator, or it can even take a decision based on the policies that you have set. So in just like a WannaCry vulnerability or something, in case it is start downloading more and more files, so this can be a trigger. So it can proactively take a decision. It can disable the user account. It can inform the administrator. So proactively, it is taking all these decisions and making sure that it is not just giving an access to the user and then don't do anything. It is actually making sure that what exactly is doing the user is doing within the session. And it is actually taking input from all the Citrix applications along with Microsoft Azure environment and all. And we are adding more and more input points as well to collect the inputs. And based on that, which it can take decision and it can provide the output to the organization. Okay, so that makes me come to my last slide, which is the main key takeaways for this. With Citrix, we are actually helping organization to embrace the new normal, which is the remote work, making sure the organization is able to deliver all their services remotely to the user where it is secure for them. And they are able to access it from any device or any network they are into. Then in terms of enabling a modern workspaces, providing a business continuity and disaster recovery solutions in terms of making sure that your organization is have a business continuity plan available, and you can easily switch to your business continuity side in case of any issue happens, or you can switch to your DR site and continue delivering the services from that site. Last but not the least is about the zero trust. We have heard more about zero trust security. Organizations are opting to deploy the zero trust solutions, and Citrix can help you in achieving the zero trust security with our many of the security features, be it session recording, be it app protection, which is keylogger and anti screen capture. So we have all of them available as part of the security features, which will help you enabling the zero trust for your organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zeeshan, for your lovely presentation. If there are any questions, so far there are no questions. If there are any questions, I will revert it to you, and please do answer to the people. And I think you also booth at the event. Yeah.
Sorry?
So you'll have an exhibition booth at the event, so they can catch up with you there as well. Correct?
Definitely. Right.
All right, sir. So thank you very much. Have a nice afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.